Wishing you all a lovely morning. I hope your day is filled with positivity. My name is Rucha S. Khot. I consider myself a lifelong learner before anything else. I am a teacher, translator, a UGC content creator, a traveler at heart, and the mother to my gorgeous 7-year-old angel who is the inspiration behind today's speech. I have traveled to 25 plus countries, 23 Indian states, and almost 180 plus cities extensively around the world. Picture this, a child standing at the edge of the world. Not a physical edge, but a mental one. A place where every question begins, where every story opens a new doorway, and where every new language, culture, and experience shapes who they will become. Now envisage that the person holding their hand at that edge is you. Not as a perfect parent or an expert, but simply as someone who is willing to learn, explore, and listen. In a world overflowing with information, children today are not lacking answers, but curiosity. And curiosity is definitely not a talent. It is taught. It grows through honest conversations, storytelling, travel in any form, multicultural exposure, and something even as simple as parents taking out their own me time to model curiosity and self-growth. Today, I want to explore how small everyday choices, tiny travel moments, shared conversations, and confident communication can raise lifelong learners who don't just survive the world, but belong to it. Children are learning more, but discovering less. Overscheduled routines, screen dependence, achievement pressure. Curiosity is shrinking because everything is available instantly. The missing ingredient, wonder. The power of storytelling and conversations. Children learn empathy through stories. They learn confidence through conversations. We got to replace instructions with discussions. Why? What do you think? Tell me more. Communication, the bridge that connects all learning. Children who express more generally tend to be more confident. Learning a new language or speaking with a diverse set of people expands their thinking. Communication is what transforms travel and cultural exposure into some form of insight. Travel as a teacher, even without a passport. Travel doesn't have to be international. Something even as simple as exploring a new cafe, museum, market can be termed as travel. Travel teaches us adaptability, perspective, and multicultural respect. It offers a new lens to see life through. It is one of the world's most powerful teachers, not because it shows us new places, but because it reveals new perspectives. There are some lessons that textbooks don't teach us, but travel does. How to communicate with strangers, how to adapt when things don't go as planned, how to appreciate differences, and how to see ourselves more clearly through the lens of another culture. Travel is something that we should be incorporating, not because it is a means of life or something like that, but treating something as a life skill. Parents, teachers, and young students can use some forms of travel, big or small, to learn life skills that formal education often ignores. Empathy, cultural intelligence, emotional agility, adaptability. Some of the most powerful lessons of my life didn't come from classrooms or exams. They came from cultures, conversations, and curiosity. Be it on a recent trip to Bali with my daughter, or going to Hamburg and getting lost and finding my way back to the hostel, or encountering some unwanted and unexpected situations in Amsterdam, Netherlands, that required assistance from local authorities, or be it entering the jungles of Bandipur, Karnataka at nightfall with my husband and reaching a dead end, or going on a solo duo trip to Leh Ladakh with my then husband and learning about the actual hardships of the army. Each little ounce of travel made me bolder, stronger, sharper, and confident to the core. Owing to these experiences, I am trying to instill the same values in my daughter, Flora. Schools teach you facts. Travel gives you perspective. To feel its stories and taste its culture. It prepares us for surprises. And that is where growth often begins. Travel teaches us to stand inside history and feel the culture, whereas classroom just teaches us the history. In a classroom, we learn a new language. Travel gives you the courage to speak it, even if imperfectly. Rack your brain for the last time you tried asking directions in a place where you did not speak a language. Suddenly you discover a universal truth. Human connection doesn't need perfect grammar. It needs effort, empathy, and willingness. On a recent trip to Bali with my daughter Flora, we encountered people from Australia, New Zealand, China. She seemed hesitant to talk and interact with the kids. She also noticed how the Balinese and these other nationalities looked different than the Indians. In the monkey park at Ubud, she mustered the courage to go and talk to the Balinese as well as the other kids and ask them questions about how they had planned their trip to Bali and about their own country. That simple conversation made her aware of the cultural differences between three nations and how our appearances are stemmed by our ancestors, heritage, region we stem from. On another occasion, on our trip to the easternmost corner of Arunachal Pradesh and thereby India, she seemed astonished at learning about the traditions and rituals which she had never heard about but learned practically about them. She also asked the questions to the locals about food preparation, infrastructure, etc. And that was the beginning of the actual curiosity that I wanted to develop with her. On another occasion, on a short trekking trip to Jibhi in Himachal Pradesh, she learned how actually walking in the mountains requires a high level of physical and mental stamina than walking in the plains. These were just a few instances when I noticed the changes. However, also realizing subconsciously that she was following in my footsteps. Parents often seem to worry. How do I raise confident children? How do I build curiosity? How do I prepare them for a global future? The answer is simple. Use travel, even the smallest forms of it. A walk through a neighborhood teaches observation. A foreign cartoon may teach them some language diversity. A cultural festival teaches belonging beyond borders. A family trip teaches adaptability and teamwork. And a conversation with a stranger teaches confidence. Here is something I deeply believe. Traveling outward is really a journey inward. Whenever we meet a new culture, we discover something about our own. Whenever we talk to someone new, we hear our own voice more clearly. And every time we step out of our comfort zone, we discover who we really are. Travel shows us our biases, our strengths, our fears, and our beauty. It is the most honest mirror. Visualize a world where children grow up to be open, aware, confident, and compassionate. Not afraid by the differences around us, but excited by them. Now envisage the same adults who are aware and connected to the world. You don't need a plane ticket. You only need intent and the willingness to connect. Raising lifelong learners is not about giving them the best gadgets or sending them to the best schools, just that, and filling their calendars with classes and routines. It is about giving them a mindset that says, the world is vast, people are beautiful, and every question a doorway waiting to be opened. You don't need to be a world traveler to raise a global citizen. You only need to be a curious one. Because children don't learn what we tell them, right? Children learn what we show them. Thereby, show them culture, curiosity, communication, and the world. One story, one conversation, one adventure at a time. Furthermore, you will not just raise learners, even so humans who carry the world within them. Thank you for your time and attention. May every conversation, journey, and cultural experience spark curiosity and a lifelong learning journey.